Thank you all for registering and attending this 7-day online faculty development program on outcome-based education, OBE. This is being organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC of SES College. Thank you. SES College in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, KSHEC. We would like to welcome all the FTP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and all faculty members. About this FTP, this will be a 7-day program. This is actually our second day of the FTP program. It will be on the same timing from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and we would expect you to attend all the 7 days. Please note, all the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access. You'll get the video recordings for all the days and also a participation certificate. If any of you still are yet to make the payment, please make the payment of rupees 300 to SES College to the account details in the chat. I will put that in the chat shortly. LMS has hands-on activities that are to be completed along with the FTP. My name is Sunil Job. I'm the Global Relations Manager with IPSO Solutions Limited, and I'll be the event moderator for these sessions. Now let me give you a few introduction. First introduction will be of Kerala State Higher Education Council, KSHEC. The Kerala State Higher Education Council is the principal higher education policy input provider and the trendsetter of the state of Kerala, and it strives to bring out equity and excellence in the higher education sector. The council is an apex level statutory body instituted under the Kerala State Higher Education Council Act 2007 and the Kerala State Higher Education Council Amendment Act 2018 of the Kerala State Legislature of Kerala. Pursuing its democratic stature and participatory approach in making decisions, the council is often denominated as a mandated working collectively of all the stakeholders of the higher education sector, including academics, administrators, and students. Now, let me tell you about SES College, Kannur. SES College, Sreekandapuram, a temple of learning for a rural community, is situated atop a picturesque hill, where the salubrious environment gives an ideal ambience for pursuits in higher education. The college was established in 1981 with a mission of empowering rural population through education. This college has got accredited with a B grade by NAAC. The institution has always opened its door to all sections of people, irrespective of caste, creed, and community, and works tirelessly to build a community of staff and students committed to the pursuit of moral, intellectual, and academic excellence. Educational institutions are social capital for the growth of emerging generations, and SES has always extended a helping hand to marginalized and underprivileged. The college gives enough provisions for the manifestations of students' talents through novel initiatives. All right, that's about the college and KSHEC. Now we will move on to today's FTP session that will be delivered by Dr. Sunil Job, KA. He is an adjunct faculty of Marian College, Kuttikkanam Autonomous. He will be taking the presentation today. Dr. Sunil Job has over 30 plus years of experience in teaching and 10 plus years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematics education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Karmela Rani College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCTE for grant of recognition as a resource person for the affiliation renewal committee of MG University. He is an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has published a few articles in national journals and authored a few academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has served as a resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently serving as adjunct professor, Marian College, Kuttikkanam Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSO Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir.
So, thank you, Sejin, for the wonderful introduction. So, good evening, all. Let me first want to check out whether my sound is audible. Sejin,
You are audible.
Okay, thank you.
Audible.
So, once again, I would extend a very good evening to all the participants, and I hope that all of you had a very pleasant day today, and quite relaxed in this young hours of this evening, right? So, as said, that we are in the second day of a long journey. That is 7 days faculty development program is obviously a long journey, and we are in the second day of our faculty development program. So, at the outset, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the IQAC of SES Sreekandapuram, and also the Kerala State Higher Education Council for giving me an opportunity to be with you and to interact on one of the most hottest topic, especially in the higher education, that is outcome-based education. Because as we know that the entire scenario of the higher education, especially by the advent of the national policy, the new educational policy 2020, is in the state of change. A lot of changes is been happening in the paradigm, and as well as in the Q factor of education system. So anyhow, we cannot keep away from outcome-based education, and it is one of the priority in higher education sector of the present contemporary scenario. I'll be I'll be with you for these 2 days, today and tomorrow, and we'll be giving a conceptual framework on outcome-based education, and in the latter stages that you'll be scaling higher thought process in outcome-based education with some use cases and wonderful strategies where you could adopt for making this outcome-based education a success. We can go into our presentations. I have got few slides to share with you. Actually, in these 2 days, what is been assigned to me is that I have to go through 3 sections in 2 days. So if I am sandwiching 2 sections in 1 day, probably it can be a little hectic. So what I have planned is that we can have one end of section. You will be wondering what is one end of section. Actually, the first section that will be discussing together will be on the learning domains, like on Bloom's taxonomy. And the second section will be on an introduction into the outcome-based education, where we will be just going into the 0 level of outcome-based education. And the third segment will be something related to the mapping, because that's something very important, because when we are going into the assessment scenario of outcome-based education, mapping is something very, very important. So we'll be discussing on mapping in detail. That will be the agenda for these 2 days, and I'll be with you. So we'll be sailing together on these outcome-based educational discussions. So I think last day you had a very wonderful section, and you had a lot of thoughts which has been shared by this Rajan Gurikal sir, then Rajan Varghese sir. And I think the principal speaker of last day was Sajid Gobinath. I think they have given a very beautiful starter into this 7 days program. And I think the stage is set perfectly by them, so that we can have a dive deep into the outcome-based educations in these coming days. So without much of an introduction, let me trigger into my first section. As I told that, I've got few slides to share with you. So let me share my screen.
Just a note to people, if any of you have difficulty with audio on WebEx, you can have the live streaming session on YouTube. The link I've put it on the chat. You can also check it out there. Okay, I think few people are facing issues with audio on WebEx. Okay, though we are not facing any issue here. It's clearly audible to us. So if you have difficulty with the audio here, you can just check that YouTube link that I sent on the chat. Use that link for the, you can see the live streaming there.
So now I would like to ask you once again whether my screen is visible and there is no problem with my sound. Everything is okay. So I think Sijan, if you could.
Yeah. Screen is visible.
Oh, okay. So I think we can move ahead
Yes.
with towards our presentation. So we are into our the first section of our this outcome-based education. So here we will rather begin with Bloom's taxonomy. I don't think that this Bloom's taxonomy is something new to you, because it's often heard, and probably while planning for a outcome-based educational implementation, you would have gone detailed into the Bloom's taxonomy, because this Bloom's taxonomy is something very important, and I would like to say that it is a pivotal component for the outcome-based education, because we need Bloom's taxonomy at all the phases of OB implementation. All the phases, I mean that the first phase could be the formulation phase. So if you want to formulate the curriculum in the lines of outcome-based education, definitely the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy is definitely necessary for you for a better formulation. And the second phase is the phase where there is life. When I say that where is life, is that the phase where you are interacting with the stakeholder, I mean students. You are interacting with the students. So if you want to have, if you want to show justice to your teaching learning activities and methodologies, preparing strategies, so whatever thing that you pull into your curriculum framework, there you should have a clear idea on Bloom's taxonomy. Then it will be all your selections regarding the curriculum will be perfect. And obviously, the post-active stage, that is the third phase of teaching learning process, is obviously the evaluation phase. So if you want to plan a better evaluation tool, because that's something very, very important. If you want to plan an evaluation tool, if you want to make the assessment on to what extent this outcome has been met, definitely you should know this Bloom's taxonomy. So that is why in all my sections, when I begin with the outcome-based education, I first go with the Bloom's taxonomy. So if you want to show justice to outcome-based education, as well as to show justice towards our teaching learning environment, this knowledge is something very important. So here we go into the Bloom's taxonomy. So here, obviously, the Bloom and taxonomy. Bloom is the psychologist who have given such a beautiful classification, such a beautiful taxonomy about how learning is happening in an individual. So obviously, taxonomy itself mean classification. So Bloom has given a very beautiful model where he tried to classify the learning experiences in a roadmap from simple to the complex. So that is what Bloom's taxonomy is all about. So in this segment, definitely we will be going into detail of Bloom's taxonomy, and we'll be just going into the different levels of learning And I think I will try to make it more clear from a from an academical perspective. We will be assessing the Bloom's taxonomy with respect to the curricular interface. So now we will go into our presentations, because the Bloom's taxonomy is all about learning. So actually, when I say about learning, learning is something, it's an abstract process. The learning is something which has been happening in an individual. It is something abstract. So if you want to figure out what is happening in the learning, we have to, that will be, that is, we can record it in terms of some responses that the learner provide to every stimulus that we give. So the learning is something which has been happening inside the individual. So the Bloom's taxonomy will give a beautiful architecture into how the learning is been happening. So, so in order to scale the Bloom's taxonomy, I have taken one slide on what is learning, only one single slide on what is learning. And also, I have just tried to, I have to just taken a small and a precise statement regarding learning. That is, learning is a process, obviously. Obviously, learning is a process that lead to change. So I don't think that there is any statement which is more simple than that which says about learning. So learning obviously is a process. So when we say that the learning is a process, the process is always followed by a product, because process, wherever there is a process, that process will be leading to a product. So what is the product that we yield from the process of learning? So this is, if you just go through this statement, learning is a process of bringing out certain desirable behavioral change in that individual. So the product will be the individual with that desired behavioral change. So, so beautifully we can put the process of learning. So learning is a process where the product is the individual with the desirable behavioral change that has already happened. So that's the product in the process of learning. So this is something very, very beautiful statement and a beautiful concept which you have to which we have to realize when we speak about learning. So suppose we will take a scenario that you are going into a classroom for a teaching process. So obviously, when you enter into the teaching process, the students in front of you will be having a subset of initial behavior. So before the teaching, because teaching and learning, they are interrelated, just like two sides of the same coin. So wherever there is teaching, there is a possibility of learning, and wherever there is a learning, there is an environment that facilitates learning, which we call it as a teaching environment. So sometimes a teacher can be the real experience that you have. So whatever it may be. If you are going into a formal environment of teaching, so at the stage where you are entering into the teaching learning process, the students will be having certain level of initial behavior. And after interacting with them for about 45 or 45 minutes or 1 hour, whatever it may be, then the students will be changed into a different level in terms of their behavior. And obviously, if there is no change, definitely that 45 minutes or 1 hour that you've spent is wasted. So obviously, wherever there is a teaching learning environment which has been happening, the students which is there in the initial behavior level will be transferred into a higher order behavior. So that differences between the terminal behavior and the initial behavior, which was there at the before the starting of the class, that difference you can conceive it as the desirable behavior that you intended to bring in the student. Or I would like to put it in a better way, that the difference between the terminal behavior that the student attained and the initial behavior is the outcome of your class. That is the outcome of your class. Obviously, you'll be thinking that, okay, before starting and at the end, the difference is the outcome. And in an outcome-based education, what you are doing is that you are fixing this outcome. What should be the outcome priorly? That is, you will be fixing what should be the desirable behavioral change that you have to bring throughout the class after completion of this program. What the students are able to know and do, that you are priorly fixing it, and you are aligning all the curricular activities so that the prefixed outcome is met. Actually, that is what outcome-based education, the most simplest way. So, so this is the process, this is the process of learning which has been happening in an outcome-based scenario. So this outcome, when you go into the class and taking a class, the differences that you are trying to bring out in the students is the intended learning outcome of that class. Suppose you are assigned with a course. You are assigned with a paper or a course to teach. Probably a semester will be having about 5 to 6 courses. So as a teacher, when you go into the classroom for teaching the course, the level of the students at the initial level, when you begin the course, that is the initial level of behavior of the students. And after completion of the course, after teaching the entire 6 months or the entire 1 semester on after completion of the course, the students' level will be transferred into a higher level. So definitely, these differences will be the outcome of that course, which we will call it as what? The course outcome, which we will be prefixing before starting of the course and ensuring that this is met by the end of the course. That is outcome. So every class is having an outcome. Every course is having an outcome. And if you're taking the program as a whole, suppose if a BCom student comes for an admission in your college, definitely the initial level will be somewhat standard. And after completion of this program, they will be elevated into some higher level of their behavioral patterns with respect to their level of study. So this differences should be what we call as program outcome. The program outcome on the program specific outcome, this is what we are trying to fix at the initial stages. So I'm just taking that statement. Learning is a process that brings about some desirable behavioral change in that individual. Now coming to Bloom's taxonomy, I'm coming from the set of outcomes to the Bloom's taxonomy. I told that if you're going into a class and you are interacting with the students for about 1 hour or something like that, so definitely we perceive that there is a change in the students' initial behavior to a terminal behavior. Now I'm taking that change. This change can happen in 3 levels. 3 levels. 1, the change can happen in the way in which they think. I repeat, change can happen in the way in which they think. That is, some intellectual levels, some change can happen in the level of the thought process, because you are nurturing the students with the knowledge. So that will nurture the thought process. So the change can happen in the way in which they think. The change can happen in the way in which they feel. Feeling is something you create attitude. What is your attitude? How do you value things? The change can happen in that way. And change can happen in how you perform something by means of the motor skills. So, so I told that learning is something that brings about a change, and this change we can categorize in the change which is happening in the intellectual level, the change that happens in the level of our feelings, and the change that happen in the way in which we do something. We do something as a mechanical process. The mechanical process, they're doing something like that. So the Bloom's taxonomy is nothing but the Bloom's has tried to classify how the change is happening in these three levels. That's what Bloom's taxonomy is all about. So let me go into the next slide. This is Benjamin Bloom, the person behind Bloom's taxonomy. Obviously, I think you can just read rather than hearing to me. You can just read the first statement. Doesn't it sound good? What does it emphasize is what any person in this world can learn. What any person in this world can learn, almost all persons can learn if provided with appropriate prior and current condition of learning. It gives a very that is to the teachers. That is a very aspiring thought to the teachers. That is, anyone can learn. That is, anyone can learn. We cannot say that these students are that is they are backward or something like that. That is, anyone have got the ability to learn. That is, anyone in the sense if they are not challenged in some way or the other, almost all persons can learn, provided if they are provided with appropriate prior and current condition of learning. This is not my words; it's the words of Benjamin Bloom. So the Bloom's taxonomy will give you a leading light in order to understand what is the level of the learning processes that you are trying to bring out in the students, and what are the prior conditions which is essential for that learning, so that the learning will happen in its best way. So this is something very, very important. That is, we can create a better learning environment if we have a clear-cut understanding about how learning happens. And that will make clear from the Bloom's taxonomical classifications. So you can read this. The Bloom taxonomy is a set of three hierarchical models. Three hierarchical models to classify educational learning into the level of complexity and specificity. So actually, what Bloom's taxonomy says is that the Bloom's taxonomy is a three hierarchical models that I have already mentioned, that the change that you're going to bring out in the students are something that is related to the way in which they think, that is intellectual abilities and skills. That is one area. The second is how they feel, how they brings about emotions, and how they stabilize the emotions, and how they build up their attitudes, how they create appreciations. So it can be in the level of feelings, and it can be in the level of how do they work with motor skills. So the change can be in these three levels, which we call as cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. So cognitive domain is something related to the intellectual abilities. Affective domain is something related to these feelings, emotions, appreciations, attitude, like and psychomotor related to the physical and motor skills. So these are the three levels, the three domains where the change has been happening. And what Bloom's taxonomy focuses that the Bloom's taxonomy literally means classification. So if you take the cognitive level, cognitive domain, the learning process begins with simple and concrete, and it will progress when it goes into a higher level. It becomes more abstract and complex. So the learning ladder happens from simple and direct to concrete and abstract. So this is the roadmap on how learning is happening. So we have to begin with simple and concrete, precise things, and there it should progress to the higher order thinking skills to complex and abstract. So that is the roadmap. And this roadmap, this road of learning, the Bloom, or this road, I would rather like to say that this ladder of learning, the Bloom has classified it into different levels. That is Bloom's taxonomy. So if you take any of these domains, the learning begins from the simple and concrete experiences to complex and abstract experiences. So this hierarchy or this ladder is being divided into different levels, and Bloom's taxonomy is all about these levels of learning. And here in our presentations, we will be going deeper into this cognitive domain, because that is something connected with the principal component, which is dealing with the knowledge. So when we are formulating our curriculum, we are organizing how we have to organize and showcase the knowledge part into our syllabus. So this is something we are going to focus in this segment, how learning happens in the cognitive domain. So we will go here. This is the very that is the different levels, as I've told, that at the cognitive domain. Probably you will be very familiar with this. So as I've told, that you can see at the bottom ladder, at the bottom of this ladder, we could see that it is simple. Simple and concrete experiences will be the basic level of learning. And when the learning progresses, it will go to abstract, complex and abstract. So this is the roadmap. We don't come from top to bottom. The learning should happen from bottom to top. And this road of simple to complex is divided into different levels. And these are the different levels of learning according to Bloom's taxonomy. So at the basic level, lower level is lower order thinking skills. It do not bring about much cognitive or challenges, or it do not bring about much intellectual challenges in the learner. And when it goes to the higher level, it becomes more and more complex and brings about challenges in the intellectual level. So this is the levels of learning, which when the learning when progress from the simple to complex, or from concrete to abstract level. So this is something what we have to go into a much granular level, and to understand what are the processes that how do the students react at these levels. That is something a teacher should understand. The teacher should understand. And our presentations and classes will be going in that level. How students will that is respond. How do the students respond at these different levels of learning? That is what we are going to understand in this level. So the basic and the first level of learning is a remembering level, followed by understanding level, followed by application level, followed by analyzing, evaluating, and creating. We have to go one by one into detail. That's something very important. If we want to show justice to OBE as well as to our teaching learning environment, definitely we should have a detailed analysis into this. So let us check what is remembering. When do we say that I remember? Remembering is something which happens at a memory level. At a memory level. So what is the responses that you expect from a student at a memory level? At a memory level, the students will only recall it. Cramming, by hearting, recalling. By hearting, recalling. That is the specification you could expect from a student at a lower level of remembering. Obviously, if you are just thinking it a little more technically, how are we connected with this external world? Definitely, we are connected with this external world through our five senses. Through our five senses. If you're shutting out all these five senses, then we are totally void from this universe, or from this earth. So we are connected with our physical environment, with our social environment through these five senses. So when you see a person, what has been happening? The light falls on the person, will be reflected to your eyeball. It enters these islands, goes to the retina through the optic nerve. It will reach to the central nervous system. It will go to the cerebrum. If you hear me, that means I'm creating some these waves. So that will go and make vibrations in your eardrum. And these vibrations will be carried out through the Malasinga stage. So chain of ossicles to the cochlea and goes to the central nervous system, and it will be recorded there. So when you record something through the five senses at the first instance, we call it as a memory level. A memory level. So at the memory level, it is not necessary that you really understand what is implied by that. So the basic level of learning is memory level of learning. So when you store something in the memory, the automatic process that trigger out is that the intellectual thought process will start working with that. It will try to bring some clarity on what is being stored in the memory. So it is that process. It is through that process we try to understand. So whatever at the memory level, you may be able to give answers even without knowing what is really meant by that, isn't it? The students, suppose if I ask the student to give any two books written by William Shakespeare, okay, they can respond. Okay, this Macbeth or Midsummer Night's Dream, like that, they can respond even without knowing or without reading the book. They will be able to say. So that is just memorizing the name of the book with respect to the author. So when you go to the understanding level, just the books alone will not serve. You have to go into the books, read the book, and you should understand what's the theme of that play or whatever it may be. So it is at this stage. It is at this stage that the concept level learning is been happening. So we develop concept or we level a conceptual learning will is happening at this level understanding. So this is the next level. So when the student reach this level, that is whatever that they received in their brain by the different senses, they will be trying to put the intellectual process, and they try to explore the meaning of whatever thing which is been stored in the memory. That becomes an understanding. So with the thought process, memory together with the thought process will elevate the learning to the next level of understanding. So when he reaches that level, what happens is that the students will be able to explain the things comfortably. Explain. So irrespective of the subject, they will be able to explain, summarize, paraphrase. Discriminate between the concepts. All these things can happen because they understood. So what is the next level? Next is application. So we are that is developing our knowledge in order to put it into a into an utilitarian dimension. That is, that knowledge becomes useful only when you apply that knowledge in some unfamiliar situations, so that you will be able to solve that particular problem related to that particular situations. Then only the learning becomes meaningful. So for that, what happens? You have to transfer the knowledge that you understood into that relevant situations for solving the problems. So here, what is happening? A transfer of knowledge that you have learned into different situations, whereby you are able to solve the problem related to that particular situation. So that level is called application. That is using information in some unfamiliar situations, so that you are able to fix that particular situation, or you are able to solve the problems related to the particular situations. Also, that is application level. So the knowledge that you have conceptualized becomes meaningful only when you elevate it to the next level and apply it into your day-to-day life, or into your career space, or in whatever walks of life that you would like to put that knowledge. So that is bringing an utilitarian level to that knowledge, developing an utilitarian value with that knowledge, bringing it to practical. So that is something very important. So this is the third level. And what is the fourth level? I would like to put this analyzing as a higher order application. Because we are not directly going and apply the knowledge in one single situation. Normally, the life situations are not simple. It will be always a complex. Where you have to apply the different learnings of different topics and put together and to integrate and to find out some solutions. So that is something in the real scenario that is been happening. So analyzing is that applying the knowledge in a complex scenario. So if you want to apply the knowledge in a complex scenario, what is needed is that you have to break that complex scenario into different components, apply your understanding into these different components and try to find out the relationship between them. That is analysis. So analysis is nothing but it is just like you are building a program. That is, you have learned a programming language and you are creating a program for some situations, applying this your created problem, a program. And at the next level, the program is been given to you and the program is having some error. So you have to debug it. So how to debug it? You have to divide the program into different sub-modules, and then you have to try how these different components are working effectively, and you have to find out where the error is. So that is analysis. Or in a simple say that if you want to study about a problem that happened with a human body, so you can study the human body as a whole, or you can just divide it into components like the skeleton system, the muscular system, the nervous system. So they are separated into different systems and they are analyzed in a specialized way. And then you can bring it together and to find out the best solutions for the problem. So dividing the system into components, then studying the system separately and bringing it together, that will give the better results. So that is an analysis. If you're doing PhD, what is doing? That is, we are setting objectives. We are setting objectives, and corresponding to every objective, we are doing multi-tier analysis, and then only integrate that result of these analysis, and we will formulate conclusions with respect to each objectives. So that is how we work at a higher this PhD level or something like that. Or for example, for chemistry, if you're giving a testing for a salt, what the students do? They will take a small fragment of that. They will go and try it with some nitrate test. Then a small segment, they will go with testing with different types of tests they do, and they will consolidate their findings to give the final to identify the final result. So that is analysis. So a scenario broken into different components, that putting your expertise and the concept that you have attained, and then trying to find out some associations. So that is analysis. So what is the next level? Obviously, that is the evaluation level. So if you want to evaluate something, then you have to find the value of something. So if you want to evaluate, then definitely you have to make a thorough analysis. Then only you can make a thorough evaluation. Suppose if you are asked to find about which is a best cell phone, you are given with the two cell phones, an iPhone and a OnePlus phone, or whatever it may be. Two phones are given, and you are asked to evaluate them. So definitely, what do? You will be taking one criteria separately. One criteria separately means analyzing it. You take, okay, battery life. Okay, how is the display? What is the sound quality? So likewise, you will take one component separately. Then we will be analyzing it, and then finally you will be passing out the judgment, evaluate. So only after authentic analysis you are able to evaluate. So evaluation comes a little more higher. Only after a thorough analysis, you will be able to make a thorough evaluation. Obviously, you will be familiar with the NIRF ranking. So what is actually happened? They have given you some criteria. So the NIRF, okay, if you are applying at a college category, obviously the Marian house is first. If you are going with the engineering college, okay, IIT Madras is the first. So how it is been, how they are evaluating it? So they are asking you to submit your assessment in terms of different criteria. So they will be evaluating the performance of different colleges on this basis of criteria, giving them different scores, and finally consolidating it, and you will find that, okay, this is the topmost college in India. So after analysis, they are evaluating, this is the best, this is the best. So evaluating happens at the highest level. So if you are just asking a question, direct question, instead, okay, if you're asking a direct question, what are the different tenets of naturalism, or what are the different tenets of Marxism? That is a conceptual level. Suppose if you are asking, critically evaluate idealism, then that is possible only when you know idealism at all its length and breadth. And so this is a philosophical topic, length and breadth. Then only you will be able to evaluate. So that question, if you want a student want to answer that question genuinely, I say genuinely, if you're giving them answer rightly, then that is not evaluate. They are understanding that and then reproducing it. That is not. If they're genuinely going through these philosophies and they are critically analyzing it and then putting their point of view, then that is evaluation. And the topmost is create. So creating is the most beautiful thing, where you are giving wings to your scholars, where they are trying to go out of the box and bringing some innovations, some new, contributing something new. Not copy and paste. They have to integrate what all thing they have capitalized, and then they are creating something new. Obviously, when they evaluate, I will just make it a little more clear. Suppose when we go for some project evaluations, I often says that, what is the review that you have made? So when we go with the review of literature, why we are focusing more on the review of literature? Because when we make a review of literature, then it will make you to think about what is the latest thing that has been happened in that particular domain. So so this review of literature is giving you a position to understand what is the present situation and what is that is being needed at the present hour. So it is that will lead you to that thorough evaluation about the state of facts in the present scenario, will give them the fire to think advanced, what change that you have to bring in the present scenario. So that will lead to what? Creating. So creating is that sensing the scenario, understanding what is something, the deficit of the present scenario, and contributing something new. So that is creating. So this is how the learning should happen, should progress in any domains, in any field. So when the domains changes, the nature changes, but the track will be like this. That is, it should begin with remembering, going with understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, like this. So this, we could say that this is something very beautiful thing that is been written here. Learning is a process engineered in such a way that one level is a prerequisite for the other, and the learning takes place in a continuum. So beautiful. So obviously, first thing that you have to you have to first memorize something first at the first level. Obviously, you'll be familiar with our Vedic systems, where the Shishya, the students, are learning from the Guru. Like the Guru will recite the different verses in Sanskrit, and the Shishya will start it. Will try to. Repeat with these verses along with the Guru, and then you try to memorize it. And when after memorizing it, then they will try to meditate on what they have memorized. That is Sravana, heard from the teacher. Then they will go to the state of Manana, where they will be putting the intellectual thought and try to understand what is being implied in the different verses that is being orated by the teacher. And then it will bring to the Vidityasana phase, where they understand the hidden elements in what they have learned, and they can apply it in the real life situations. That was there in our ancient, in our ancient system of education. So this is what the same thing that Bloom has put it in a little more systematic way in the way of taxonomy. So this is something very important. We have to bring this thing into our our teaching area. I will take one level at a time, and we'll be just analyzing these three areas. The one is what you can, what the students demonstrate at each level, because learning is something abstract. So you have to analyze what has been happening from the responses that the students elicit at each stage. So these are the verbs which has been useful for you for framing questions as well as for framing outcomes. At each level. And these are the different questions that we can frame at these levels. So now let us take this remembering level first. So obviously, at remembering level, definitely what the students display is that their ability to recall information and fact. Recalling, because remembering is a memory level of learning, so the students will try to recall. The ability to recall methodology, procedures, knowledge of dates. So just like whatever we do with the general GK. If I'm asking GK, what is the students are saying that they try to memorize the different dates, facts, events, even without knowing what is a real, it is implied. They try to memorize it. So that is a remembering level. And these are the verbs that you can use for framing questions to test the students at these levels. For example, we are, because we are from different domains, from different disciplines. So I think we are commonly discussing about Bloom's taxonomy. So that's why I've taken the first question in Bloom's taxonomy. So I've taken the verb list. List the various domains in Bloom's taxonomy. So this is the question that I ask. So basically, this question is a remembering level question because it demands only list. It don't want anything more than that. As we know that there are three domains. As I've told you that three domains. I want you to list the three domains. So if the students are able to answer, okay, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, if they answer like that, they will get the full credit. So even if there is if the student is a PhD in Bloom's taxonomy, this question only demand what these names, which they have crammed even without knowing. So you have mentioned that, okay, cognitive domain, because we have just explained the roadmap of cognitive domain, like remembering, understanding, applying, like that. But we didn't. I didn't explain anything about affective domain. I didn't say that affective domain means the learning happens like receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterization. These are different levels in affective domain. I didn't mention it here. But still, you have mentioned affective domain. Or if I say that psychomotor domain, okay, imitation, manipulation, precision, articulation, naturalization, the different levels. So even without knowing about what is the different levels, you can answer this question because there is no need for a understanding. Just a cramming of what are the different domains. Even without knowing what is implied in that domain, you can answer this question. So now this next our question is define multiculturalism. The define, that verb is given here, define. So definition is something that the students write the same words which has been given by some other persons. So some sociologists, what they have mentioned about multiculturalism, they are just writing it in the same words of that particular person. Even sometimes while we are evaluating, we'll be more critical that even if the student didn't put a comma or apostrophe, okay, he has not put this one. So this is, I cannot give full credit. So sometimes the evaluation goes like that. That is a clear, the clear memorization of what someone has told about something. We are writing it. Okay, maybe they would have understood, but that is only the words which has been given by some other person, defined. So if the student write this same thing by understanding the concept in their own words, that is much more higher level of learning. Obviously, that is much more higher level of learning rather than that is we are vomiting what the other person has said about something exactly the same like that. So if you are giving that much of emphasis, what the student do is that they will cram it, they will by heart it and reproduce it, and when they go into, they are more focused on putting these words in the particular way that the person has said. That will be something focusing at a remembering level. And name the union territories of India. Name. That is, the students is only want to know the name of the union territories like that. They'll put that, okay, this Lakshadweep, Pondicherry, they'll be giving the names. Even without knowing what is the difference between a union territory and that of a state, or what is the state of welfare of the people living in a union territory state, they can write that answer. So this is such type of questions, we can say it as the questions at a remembering level. So the next level is what they try to understand the meaning. That's what is happened here. Demonstrated skill is understanding meaning, grasp meaning. So they understood the concept. The concept learning has happened. So now the topic or the knowledge, I am the authority of the knowledge. I understood what is meant by that. I didn't go with someone's word. I understood the concept. So that knowledge has come into my control. That is what understood. When I understand, otherwise we have to say, if I give a definition as such, I am not free, because that definition or statement has been imposed on me. That will tax me. I want to restate it in the same. I want to state it in the same words that others have said. Now I have the freedom. I understood the topic. Now the knowledge is in my control. I can express it my own way. So that is understanding. So you can, these verbs will help you to frame questions in understanding, at an understanding level. Why I am giving this much of importance is that while you're formulating outcomes, this is something very, very important. When we go for mapping, this is important. When we go for assessment, this is important. So this is the base. So even if you know, don't think that, let it be a rethinking, let it be a relearning, so that you can be an expert in OB, definitely. So the same for the first question I just asked, only list. So you can give the answer like, okay, cognitive, affective, etc. Now I ask that, explain the various levels of learning in cognitive domain. So if you want to answer that question, obviously you should understand what are the different levels and what are the processes involved in different levels. Then only you can put the things in a very beautiful way. So that question expects an understanding level. The student should understand, then only they can explain it. Then the same question, before I ask define. When I say define, some statement is been imposed. I am taxed with some statement. Now I have got freedom. I understood multiculturalism. So I am restating multiculturalism in my own words. So even if the students say that the multiculturalism is just like a fruit salad, obviously you should give the mark. Why fruit salad? Why fruit salad? Because in a fruit salad, different fruits are there with its own identity. It's not a mixed fruit juice. If it's a mixed fruit juice, it's a monoculturalism. Everything put together, ground together, and made a homogeneous statement or liquid or something like that. So when they say that every culture has is been there with its own dignity, bounded by the creed of emotional sentiments like that. Or if it is the state of India, then the India is a multiculturalistic country where the different cultures coexist in a cream of nationalism. If they are able to reproduce it like that, definitely they understood the concept. Okay, so discuss the privileges of Union Territory of India. Okay, so if they are able to answer it, definitely they are not memorizing some states and Union Territories. They are able to understand what the privileges of a Union Territory, what are the privileges the people have other than the state. If they're able to explain it, they understood what is Union Territory like that. Now going to application. So when we think about applying is something transferring. Transferring. What transferring? Transferring your ideas. The transferring the knowledge that you have gained in a different situation. That is it. Use method. That is the concept that you have learned. Method, concept, law, theories in new situations for solving the problems. So in an application, always there is a transfer of our expertise, transfer of our understanding into a different situation for solving it. So these are the verbs. So these are the verbs which is it is been there in the LMS. Don't worry. The verb list are there in the LMS. Or if you Google it, you can have a number of materials will be available there. So these are some of the ways which help you to formulate questions in application level, applying. So I will take the first. We are more concerned about the first Bloom's taxonomy because I asked you list various domains, explain, so understanding. Now, what I've asked is that I didn't say anything about Bloom's taxonomy. I asked you to frame questions related to each domain in your subject. So I want you to frame questions in your subject in lines of Bloom's taxonomy. So I want you to prepare an understanding level question. Understanding level means Bloom's taxonomical level. So I want, suppose if you're handling physics, I want you to prepare a question in physics according to the remembering level of Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, you can say that. Okay, define Ohm's law. Simple, define. Okay, understanding level, Ohm's law. So just the law as such, I can frame a question like that. So this is how we can formulate questions. So frame few questions related to each domain in your subject means that you are transferring the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to your subject for framing questions. So transfer. Did you get it? Because we are in the track of Bloom's taxonomy. So at an application level of Bloom's taxonomy, you are applying the Bloom's taxonomy, transferring the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to what? To your subject for framing question. So transferring of knowledge for framing question. So that is why what I've done, that is I want to create a remember level question. I transferred the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to physics, Ohm's law, and I say that define Ohm's law. So it is a basic level question or understand at a remembering level question. Illustrate few multiculturalistic practices in education. Multiculturalistic practices in education. So this is that is we were learning about multiculturalism. The first question was define multiculturalism, then restate multiculturalism in your own words. Then now I am asking illustrate few multiculturalistic practices in educational institution. So you should know what is multiculturalism, and you should identify, you should apply that knowledge into your educational system so that you could be able to explain, okay, these are the different practices that I could find that in a multiculturalism, commemorating different festivals like that. So likewise, we can, these are the way in which we can formulate the questions at different levels. So at an analyzing level, what are the demonstrated skill that you are showing is breaking a complex problem into part. So suppose if you are working with a system and the system has got some problem, so how do we fix that problem? You are not dealing the system as a whole. You will be just, okay, what are the input devices? Is there any problem there? What is the what is the process units? How many components that I can divide these processing units? I will take one component like that, whether it is performing well. So what is this? Dividing means I am breaking down a system into different components, identifying how the system is working and identifying the issues and fixing it. So that is analyzing. So analyzing is that breaking of a complex situation into different parts, applying your expertise into these different parts, and trying to find out some associations. So that is how analysis happens. So classify, outline. These are some of the verbs that may help you to prepare questions. So these verbs, I don't say that these verbs are mutually exclusive. Some verbs that you are using at an understanding level, you can use at the analyzing level. For example, identify. So suppose if I'm asking a small child to identify an apple and orange. So that identification is a conceptual level identification. He identifies, he knows what is the concept of an apple and what's the concept of a orange, the color, shape, like that. He understood the concept and a conceptual level understanding. So he identifies it. Suppose if I ask a student to identify to salt, So that he takes a small part. He will make some different testing or different testing, and then he will be consolidating all this, and then he will be identifying. So that is an analytical level identification. So some verbs could be used at different levels. At which verb at which level to be used is the responsibility of the teacher, because you are the expert in your field. So, what outcome that you're expecting from the students, you have to phrase these verbs accordingly. So here, categorize the given question in various levels of cognitive domain. So this is what about Bloom's taxonomy, right? So the first one was to list memory level, then to explain what level, understanding level, then apply Bloom's taxonomy, frame questions. So you are applying and framing questions, application level. And now what is this question? You are already given with few type of questions, and you are asked to identify what is the level of this question according to Bloom's taxonomy. So what you do, you will take the question, you will analyze its nature, and you will be first testing it with remembering. Is it addressing a memory level learning? Then you will be identifying it with understanding, and you will be checking out with the different levels, and you will be identifying which level this question addresses perfectly. So that is an analytical level. You are analyzing. Suppose if you are asked to evaluate a dance form, how will you do? You will be breaking the dance into different, whether the first phase is like this, the second sequence is like this, third sequence is like this, and is it going in a right way? Then only you will be putting together. So that is analyzing, breaking of a scenario into different components. Okay, suppose if I ask, compare the practices of multiculturalism and monoculturalism. So what is the analysis happens here? So if you want to compare, okay, what is the state of government of a multiculturalism and what is in a monoculturalism? Isn't it? What are the basic principles of the government in a multiculturalistic society and in a monoculturalist society? What is the state of welfare? So you are breaking the this system into different components, and you are making comparison. So that is an analytical level. So in an analysis, what we do is that we will break the system into different components, and then we will be studying, finding out the relationship. That is analysis. So here we are analyzing two systems. So we will be breaking the system into different components and making a cross validation or comparisons like that. And obviously evaluation. So evaluation is the highest level of that is, if you want to make a thorough evaluation, it should be followed. It should be preceded by a thorough analysis. That is, an authentic evaluation happens only after analysis, isn't it? So, so what happens? Compares and discriminate between ideas, access theories, presentations, etc. So these, so actually, these level of learnings, you cannot break, construct walls between these levels. The learning is something is happening in a roadway. So we are categorizing them on how it has been progressing like that. So you cannot construct a wall between application and analysis, because some elements will be common to them. So it is just like a progression that has been happening in the learning ladder. So at an evaluation, what happens? You are analyzing it, and after that you are passing judgment. Judgment. So after analyzing, you are passing judgment, which is what? So that is what. So suppose if you want to rank, obviously we were referring to that. NIRF has been creating a national-wide ranking system. So how do they rank? They are setting out some criteria, analyzing all the colleges on the basis of these criteria, and they will be giving some scores on the basis of the criteria, and on the basis of the score, they will be ranking their performance. So this rank is nothing but the evaluation, the best college, the top college, the top 100 college. So like that, we are able to evaluate the quality, the Q factor of these colleges. So like that. Now I could say that, do you think that, because we were working with Bloom's taxonomy right from the remembering level, right? So if I ask a question, do you think you can prepare questions of all levels of Bloom's taxonomy in your subject? And the bottom thing is that justify. I don't want an yes or no question. I don't want an yes or no. I want to justify. So if you say that, okay, the Bloom's taxonomy is very good, but it has got its own limitations. For my subject is concerned, this Bloom's taxonomy is not working well because I'm not able to frame questions in these domains. Okay, well, so that is the product of your evaluation. So if you want to justify it correctly, what you should do, you should have a thorough understanding of Bloom's taxonomy. You should try to apply it, and you have to try to analyze these whether everything is going perfectly, whether you are able to prepare the questions at each levels from your subjects, and then only you can bring about your suggestions, isn't it? So that is evaluating. So evaluating means you should have some sound rationals or criterias on the basis of it. So that is why for every research we go with the review of literature. Review of literature will help you to understand the current status quo of the topic that you are learning, and you'll be able to understand what is the issue now we are confronting, and it is that will trigger your creative potentials to a research innovation level. So that is why the review of literature is something very, very important for higher education, especially in order to scale the create level, especially in the science-based subjects. So necessity is the mother of invention. So if you want to feel what is necessary at this present point of time, we have to go with the thorough evaluation. So that is something, evaluations. So critically evaluate the multiculturalism and monoculture. Okay, we will be boasting about that. Multiculturalism, good, like that. But when you go deeper and deeper into that, if you analyze the merits, and you will be able to know the merits, and you will be able to know the demerits only when you are able to understand it thoroughly. You analyze them completely, then only you can put your statement about its worth. Okay, so if I want to, my first question I asked is that I want to identify which is the, I want you to make an assessment on which is the best mobile phone. Obviously, you have to make a thorough analysis, and on the basis of this analysis criteria, you will say that this is something superior to the other. So this evaluation comes as a byproduct of a thorough analysis. A thorough analysis should be the prerequisite to that. So that is how the evaluation should happen. And finally, creating is something that is, you have to bring something new. That is, you can use your old ideas to create new ones. So the creating new ideas, that is a research level, because normally in examination scenario where you are given 2 or 3 hours to answer some questions, obviously you will not be able to reach a create level. If you want to make the students at a create level, definitely you should work with some assignments, some projects, so that the students will be able to work with some ideas. They will be able to create some new ideas. So that is a creative piece. So the creative piece will take. It is not a time bound assessment process. It will take some time, irrespective of the area that they are doing. So what we do is that for create, they should always contribute something new, combine some parts to make some whole. I think this is a very beautiful division which has been shown here. For analysis, what is been you are doing in analysis? A problem, a complex problem, you are dividing it into different components, and then you are applying your knowledge with respect to the components and trying to find out some associations with these components. And for create is a new way of synthesis, that is, you should be having some ideas in you, and you will be evaluating about a particular situations, and you will be finding answer to that situations by creating a new design, isn't it? Putting your ideas, creating a new design, and finding out solutions. So this is actually creating, is that. So in creating, we have to draw new conclusions. We have to contribute, generalize from given facts related to the knowledge from several areas, combine parts to make a new whole. All these are the some thing that is been happening in a create level. So you are putting something that you know in order to create something, to bring something new. That's so. Before in this question of Bloom's taxonomy, I asked you that whether Bloom's taxonomy is compatible for your domain, and you answered that no, it's not compatible. I have got some instances where Bloom's taxonomy is not working well. So what is the next level? You found what is the problem. So next level, go for a new model. So that is what evaluation will sense the necessity, and it trigger the thought in order to drive you through some creative ideas. So creative ideas. So a thorough evaluations about the situations will lead you or thoughts to a newer domain, so that you will be able to make something new. So create a new model, because before we told that it's not compatible. Then I am having some issues. So I am not satisfied. So I have to work with that, and something create a new model of classification of learning objectives that could be compatible and properly addresses your issues. Okay. So and obviously for the arts subjects and all, develop a presentation to inspire multiculturalism. So suppose if it is a genuine work, some creative thoughts, some creative ideas, you can put it like this. So this is how the learning should happen. So the learning is a process which progresses from direct thing, and at the create level, it is totally abstract. You don't know what is going to happen, and you are creating something new. So it is a travel, a journey from the simple and concrete to the simple and concrete to complex and abstract level. So obviously, now we know that the agenda of national policy, new educational policy 2020 is to bring autonomy to institution as well as for the student. That's why last day Sajid Gopinath sir was been mentioning about autonomy, because the students will be enjoying the privilege of multiple entry and exit. They will be deciding. They can take their degree from multiple colleges, and they can have these subjects from different colleges, and they can get the credit into the academic ABC, the academic bank of credit, and they can pursue their education like that. So they will be coming and checking out the courses in terms of the outcomes. Obviously, the outcome will reflect what is the quality that you're going to give. So obviously, this is going to be a key factor in the later stages. And the autonomy will give the institutions the right to make some academical decisions like that. So obviously, I would say that we have just analyzed from remembering, understanding, applying like that. From lower, these remembering, understanding are the lower order thinking skills, and application analysis, all these are the higher order thinking skills. So I will tell that the best way to increase the quality of a higher education institution or any education institution is that to enhance the quality of the assessment tools. That is, enhancing the quality of the assessment tools is that you can enhance the questions from the lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. So what happens is that the students will be bound. If you're putting the questions in that way, definitely the students will be bound to acquire that level of competencies. So if you're always putting your questions at a lower order, what is this, what is that, definitely they will only attain at a conceptual level. They'll be able to, they will not be able to go into the higher levels like that. As we know that in recently, most of the these recruiters says that 93% of the students are confused students who are passing out of the professional colleges. Because why? Because they are not able to put the things into an application level, because all the academics are centered around the lower order thinking skills. So this is what the higher these recommendations of new educational policies and reforms, they often say that we have to change our assessment practices. We have to uplift the assessment practices from lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. That is, we want to bring out the application level learning, analytical level learning, the innovative level learning, which brings about the create level of learning in the students by different projects, etc., etc. So this is how we can improve the quality of the education. So the shortcut for this enhancing the quality is to enhance the quality of the assessment tools or test by elevating the questions from lower order to higher order. That do not mean that all the questions should not be taken to the higher order. Obviously, you should have some representations like that. So according to, you can have a policy if you have autonomy that at least the 40% question should be from a lower order. That is, the student should know the concept also. The student should know the concept. So conceptual level question should be there, and the fixed weightage should be given to the questions at an application level, analysis level, whatever. So the problem is that, suppose if you're giving an evaluation question, and you are also giving an answer to that question, will it be an evaluation? No, never. If you're giving an analyzing level question and you are also giving an answer to that question, the students will learn that answer. An analytical level question becomes an analytical level question only when the student uses their cognitive level to answer that question. Without, you should give only the concept, and the student should put their cognitive ability in order to answer the question. Then only then analytical question will become an analytical question. So that's something very important. So there are a lot of pitfalls and fallacies in our systems. So just by putting a verb analysis or evaluate in front of the question, do not make it an analysis or evaluation question. Unless and otherwise, the student should use their ability to figure out what is the merit, what is the demerit, what is this, like that. So that is something very important. So any question prefixed with an analysis will not become an analysis question. If you are giving the answer directly to them and ask them to by heart this and learn it by heart, and you're putting it in an examination, that will now become an analytical question. So this is something that we have to look about it, and these higher order questions should not be spoon-fed to the students, because we want their cognitive ability to flourish. Then only they will become potentials. So okay. So this is something I'm expecting some answers from you. Let me. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to give some questions. So suppose if I say that remembering level is K1, okay, the next level is understanding level is K2, the next level is K3, application, applying, analyzing K4, then evaluating K5, and creating K6. These are 6 levels which we were discussing so far. So what level you would like to put this question? You can put it in chat. Yes, yes, yes. Some questions, some answers are coming. Yeah. I am happy. I am happy. Go with. What is the Rudresh? I am happy because what is the question? The student learns from notes. You are giving notes to the question. Analyze the question is an analytical question. Analyze the motives of speech by Mark Antony. It's a very famous, even the small students go in the recitation competition, they say that I came to Bari, she said no to praise him, like that. And so what is the motive of the speech? If the students are writing their own, if they are writing their own, it is analytical. But the thing is that the student learns from notes. So you'll be remembering it. You'll be remembering it. And the final thing is that he puts a perfect answer in his own words. So he understood it and he has given it in his own words. So it's an understanding level. It is an understanding level. Very good. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. So what is this? Find the volume of the cube when one of the side is known. Obviously, you will be having a formula. Okay. So when you ask to find the volume, obviously what happens is that we will put application. Actually, is it an application question? Is it an application? What is the volume of a cube? Side into side into side, or S cube. Instead of S, you are putting what? You are just substituting what? The side. It is just only an understanding. It's only an understanding. It is misleading. Obviously, there is a tendency to say that it is an application level. It becomes an application level. Suppose if you are asking the students to calculate the volume of a structure where there is a cube, there is there is a cone, there is a cylinder. So he will be dividing it and apply. If you are applying it like that, or he is using that volume to calculate the flow of water like that. So he's been applying it in a different situations. Suppose how much time it will take the water to fill in a what type, a cubical vessel like that. If you're applying it like that, it is an application level. Just putting it, it is not an application level. It is just substituting in the formula. It's a tricky question that I put. So when we say that find volume solve, it's a tendency to write that. Suppose if I'm giving you a cubical vessel and water has been flowing it at this and rate, what is the time that it will take to fill? Then you are applying that knowledge, not that knowledge to solve. Okay. The students is asked to conduct. The students is asked to conduct an experiment and examine the result of the conducting an experiment. So the students, suppose if it is salt analysis, they will be conducting the experiment. They will be noting down the observations. So what is this? Yeah, analyzing, because they're conducting the experiment. They are noting down the different observations, and then they're computing it. So it could be an analyzing level. Debate on pros and cons of net banking. Debate. So when you debate pros and cons, debate. So yes. Analyzing, because you have to analyze and then you have to put your remark. When you debate, you put your remark on the basis of such and such. I say that. So that is evaluation, because there is only a small differences. You are putting the remark. This is good. This is bad. This is good. This is bad. You have to substantiate on the basis of analysis. So this is evaluating. Yes, analyze and evaluate, because they are so closely packed together. Only after thorough analysis, you are putting your judgment. You are putting your judgment on the basis of analysis. So it is evaluation. So when two things comes together, you have to go with the highest. Because I've told you that learning is something that happens in a continuum. When I say apply, that means understood as well as remembering is implied in apply, because he reaches application level only after covering what the other two level. He reaches analysis, how you have to apply it, then only analyze it. So analysis happens only after completion of application of what you know into the different components that you have broken it. That is why you get confused. You are applying it, but after applying it, you are analyzing it. So apply and analysis, what is the topmost will be taken as the level. And that is why here, evaluate, analysis and evaluate. Only after analysis, you can make authentic evaluation, isn't it? So when you say analysis and evaluate, what is that? You will say it is evaluate. Okay, so you are +2 and graduation, you don't say that only after +2 you will go for graduation. You will say that graduation. Then graduation and post-graduation, you don't say that graduation, you will say post-graduation. Because it goes in a hierarchy like that. So there is because it happens like this. One step as a continuum of the other. So when you say analysis and evaluate, you say evaluate, because when you say evaluation, all the other things is being implied. There is understanding is there, application is there. So that is why the ladder. I told that it is going like a ladder like that. Match the following invention and inventors. Match. Only matching. Just matching. So if you want to, okay, books and author, even without reading the book, you can, if you remember that this book is written by this author, you can match. This invention, this is the inventor. You can match even without knowing what is the invention. You will be able to match. GK, everything. The most of the GK questions are at a remembering level. Okay, so this is a remember level K1, K1. Very good, very good. Okay, this I will say create a new model, because we were been say, discussing like that. Okay, sir, this Bloom's taxonomy is not addressing my questions. Then I asked you, okay, you can create something. So it's a create level question. So it's very good, very good. I'm happy with this group. They are responding it. I'm very happy, because this is the response that gives us more life to interact. And so we have got one task related to that. Probably those who have got the LMS login, these task will be there with you. So here what we are going to do is that we are going to make a question paper analysis. So all these sections that we have been doing is that we are we are just analyzing different levels, and what will be the nature of questions at the different levels we are now talking. So now you are mastered the Bloom's taxonomy, and now I am going and giving you a task at an analytical level, where you can take any of your previous year question paper. You can select any of the previous year question paper, examination question paper in your subject. Obviously, if you're commerce, okay, management, okay, you can take one in management. Or if you are physics, okay, you can take any semester question paper, final examination question paper. Obviously, the question paper will be having different questions. There are about 35 questions been showcased here. So, okay, the first question, obviously, if it is from section A, you can drop down is there. Don't do anything here. It is an automated sheet. Section A, first question, read the question, and you can be able to analyze what is the level of that question. If it is understanding, okay, what is the mark? 2 marks. Okay, second question. A, the question is the subject that you are handling. So you will be master. I am not a master in the subjects that you are handling. You are the expert. So on the basis of Bloom's taxonomy, you'll be able to understand. Okay, this is an application level question. What's 2 marks? Okay, next question. A part question. You will read the question, and if the question is a remember level question, okay, you can give the remember level question. You can enter the mark. So these two are drop down. If you click here, that this will be coming. Then the second B part, the question is a 5 mark question, and that 5 mark question is an explain question. An explanation question is understanding level question, and that is 5 marks. So what you have to do is that if there are 15 questions, you can fill all these columns. So automatically the results will be automated here. So what you have to do is that you can download this file from the LMS. The LMS will be there, and you can save it in your desktop, and then you can take your question paper and you can write what is the program name. What is the program name? The program name, maybe it's BCom. Okay, what is the course name? Maybe it is the management. So which year, which semester? These are the things that you should enter general instructions. Then you can just check here. And we know that remembering, understanding all these levels are basic lower order thinking skills. And what we expect is that all the questions should not be from a lower order. We want a pretty good proportion from the higher order, because we know that the assessment is the engine that drives the quality of an institution or the quality of an educational system. So if you want to increase the quality, increase the level of assessments. So obviously, if you are bringing more higher order questions into your question paper, the students will be bound to reach that level. So they will put more effort, and the teachers have to explore more different variety questions at higher order. So it is a collaborative, it is an opportunity for the teachers as well as the students to explore more and more higher order levels. So obviously what happens? The quality of the institution will be enhanced. The students' creative potentials will increase. They'll be able to have an analytical level. They will never be a confused persons for applying their knowledge in different scenarios. So they will become more and more potentials. So that is the most important thing. So you'll be able to identify, okay, what is the percentage of questions? Okay, 64% is from understanding level. So 64 plus 18 together, it is 60, 70, 82% is from lower order thinking skills. So you can put your remark here about this question paper, and there is at the LMS you can submit it, upload it in the LMS. So if you have any confusions regarding the LMS, our support team is there. That details will be given in the chat. You can make some queries with them so that you can have these questions done. So all these activities should be completed. Then only we can able to download the certificates. So this is the better learning experiences. Make the maximum use of LMS because the real life is there. And there is also a forum where you can post your doubts so that the other your peers who are visiting the LMS will be able to put comments and their own experiences. They can share their experiences, and even the resource persons also will be visiting. So that's the platform for collaboration, because we know that the learning happens best when we give opportunities for collaboration. So the LMS, a lot of activities are there which could be applied in your learning domain. So make the maximum utilization of that. So this is the task that you have to do. This is available in the LMS. Take a question paper, read one question one by one. You have to enter only, this is not mandatory. You have to enter the levels as well as the respective marks, and the consolidated status will be available here, and you can express your own remark here. So this is your first task related to this section 1. Let me look the time. Okay. So actually, I was planning. Ours is a 2 hours section. So I am planning to give a small introduction on the OBE also. But the thing is that now I'm giving the time for, if you have some query regarding this segment, you can put it now, because our first segment is complete now with this task. So this is the end of the first section 1. And if we have some time, I want to go through few slides of the other. Otherwise, tomorrow it will be a very tight, packed section. So you can put some questions. So Sijan, you can moderate.
All right. Thank you, Sunil sir, for this wonderful session. I can see that there are some people who have been sending some messages for access to LMS. If you have any issues with this issues with your LMS, please send them. You can WhatsApp or call this number, which I have put there, 90245 92530 or 9544128111. Okay,
So,
you can.
somebody has asked to details about the task. Remark is that your remark regarding the question paper, that is whether your question paper is perfect or whether the majority of the questions is from lower order. Is there any need to change the question paper, the weightage to the higher order like that? So now, as such, whether your question paper is perfect, it is just for an analysis, a self-analysis regarding the question paper that you are using. So that is what the remark that you have to put. Some question is like there. And here, as I told that you have to take this is available. This will be available in your LMS only. LMS. So you can download that in the respective link, and you can save it in the desktop. And you can take any question paper, that paper that you're handling. Probably the one final year question paper, that is not internal, external examination question paper. And you can first question, what is the level of Bloom's taxonomy, their respective marks. You can enter it like this. Okay, actually, the create level is something, if it is the science, you are giving them a project. You are giving them project. And what is the project emphasizes? The project is intended to take your students into a create level. So when we go for project evaluation, my first question is that what is the innovation that you have put into this project? So normally in a question paper, in a normal question paper of 3 hours, it is not a good practice to integrate the create level question into the normal question paper, because the create level question paper, the students are putting their own contributions. So, normally that if you're preparing a scheme of evaluations for create question, you cannot prepare a scheme, because creating is something genuine from the part of the students. So that only you can give in the terms of in the projects or assignments or something like that. Is it possible for the students who creative goes to create first and analyze? Actually, you have this is the creation of knowledge. That is not the general creativity. That is not the general creativity. Here we are focusing on the intellectual ability by which the knowledge progresses. The knowledge progresses. So that is one K1, K2, K3, K4, K6. So the knowledge should progress in this track. That is we have to analyze. That is why for the research level, if you're contributing something for the knowledge, okay, review of literature is there in order to make a thorough analysis about the present situations like that. So that is how it should progress. Why apply is coming before analysis? Because first I told you that apply is that is analysis is a higher order application. That is you are applying your knowledge in a complex situations, where you are dividing the complex situations into different parts and applying. So analyzing is a higher order application of your knowledge, where you are finding some associations between them. So due date, all these things they will be announcing, and I think Sijan, there will be a 1 week time for LMS. I don't. So that they will be giving you information, right? To what time that LMS will be open after our.
Yes, LMS is open till 31st Jan.
Okay.
So you can do your activities before that. So since you finished with today's session, all those activities relating to this will be there in the LMS. Even today's session will be there, the recorded session will be there after some time in your LMS, probably today night or by tomorrow morning.
So somebody is asking whether there can be evaluation question there. Obviously, if I ask a question on finding, list out the critically evaluate a system, that is an evaluation level question. Finding the merits and demerits regarding something, suppose if it is GST, merits and demerits, it's an evaluation level question. Provided that you should not give the question or answer in advance. Then that will be a real evaluation question. If you're giving it in advance, it will be only an understanding level.
For those people who have already paid for the LMS and still don't have access to the LMS, please contact or WhatsApp this number, which I will put there in the chat.
So there was a question what the difference between analysis and evaluate. Actually, evaluation happens after analysis. Evaluation happens after analysis. After analyzing, you will be passing your judgment regarding the topic that you have analyzed. So that is evaluation. So actually, I was planning to just get into our outcome-based education is a small intro, but I don't think that time permit, because now it is 8:48, only 12 minutes to go ahead for our time. So it is not. So tomorrow we'll be having little hectic sections, because I have to go through 2 sections. So it will be packed. So we'll be starting at the right time from 7. Okay. So we'll be. But this is something very important. You will realize it when our section progresses, because this is something basis that we need for formulations as well as for assessments. For if you want to make some models in developing strategies, methodology to realize the students. This is something very, very, very important. So I think we should conclude today's segment for today, and I think that it is not wise to go with the. Otherwise, I would have to make you sit up to 9:30 or something like that. So it's not wise. So
all right. I think we will continue tomorrow, because Sunil sir's session is there tomorrow as well. So he will be continuing with the rest of the advanced topics tomorrow. So if you join in by 7, right, we can start at 7 itself, and then we will have plenty of time to. We'll have 2 hours of his session, and he will. We can also have maybe a 15 minutes of Q&A session as well in the.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. I'm very happy that a good participants are there in this platform, and also in this YouTube streaming is also going parallel. So there is a very good representations are there. I'm very happy to be with this group because they are very interactive. I'm very happy. So let us wind up for today. So let's have a conclude this section. So good night.
Yes. All right, everybody. I think we will conclude for today. All right. As I mentioned, to receive the LMS access and participation certificate, that is the participation certificate that will be from the Kerala State Higher Education Council, you need to pay the processing fee of ₹300. You need to make the payment to the account details that I'll share now, and you need to send a screenshot of the payment transaction to the WhatsApp number 900-205-92530. Okay. If you have any issues with the LMS after you have made the payment, please make a WhatsApp call to 90205-92530 itself, or for it. Or if you have any issues with any activities there, you can just WhatsApp there, and we will check into it. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all again for your time and making an effort to attend this wonderful session on OBE. Now we will conclude the FDP for today. Tomorrow, Friday, 20th Jan, we will have the FDP start at 7 p.m. itself. So please join in at that time.
Okay, thank you. And one more thing that somebody has asked whether there are other taxonomy. Definitely, there are taxonomies like Solov taxonomies are there, but we follow Bloom's taxonomy because Bloom's taxonomy is considered as the standard for OBE. So that's all. So thank you. So have a good night. So we'll meet tomorrow with more wonderful thoughts. Bye.
Good night, everybody. Thank you all. Bye.